And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thompson. 100%. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big Sean McCarthy.
That's right. We are back. It is the Weighing In podcast. It is spring. All of the pollen is out. And my man, Josh Thompson, has got a sultry sounding voice for you today. What's up, Big Sexy?
Hey guys, what's going on? My voice is so gone. Oh man, this is gonna be a long show for me. But you have a stuffy nose though as well from all.
Oh yeah, all the pollen. It's killing me. It's all good.
Yeah, it was fine the other day until Monday when I woke up, and then it was the wind started kicking up, and I woke up Monday morning and just felt like I felt fine, but my throat is gone. I have no idea. It doesn't hurt. Nothing happened. It doesn't hurt. Nothing. I sound horrible. This is disgusting.
This is the best you've ever sounded to me, man.
Oh, man. It's so bad. What's crazy is that sometimes my voice will come back very clean for like 2 or 3 words, and then it goes back to this. So I was like,
it's trying to make a comeback and then quits on you.
Exactly. All right. Well, hey, let's get started.
Let's do it. We got all kinds of things. We got a hell of a big pay-per-view coming up this week with a lot of great fights. Let's just get right to it with Alexander Volkanovski against the Korean Zombie. What do you think about that one? I love it.
This podcast is brought to you by MyBookie.ag. Did you guys hear me? MyBookie.ag, where all you guys can make all the bets you want on almost anything. John, did you hear me, John? Anything. You've got the Final Four that is around. You've also got the finals that'll be coming up. You've got so many things that you could place bets on. Let's not just talk about fights. I want to let everyone know there's other sports out there, man, that you can place at mybookie.ag. But if you guys use our promo code weighing in for your first initial buy-in, they will give you a little extra spending cash, a little bit more dough to put down, courtesy of us at Weighing In Podcast. If you use that promo code weighing in at mybookie.ag and use that little QR code right there, that one right there. Do you hear me? Yep. You use that one right there, that QR code right there. Okay, with the weighing in code, it will give you a little extra spending cash for that first initial buy-in. And you guys, we want to thank you guys so much for supporting us and the mybookie.ag website.
John, I'm going to let you do most of the talking today to save everyone's ears from this horrible voice. But overall, I think it's going to be a great fight. I think Zombie's getting overlooked. Don't get me wrong. I think Volk is extremely talented. He's going to put the pressure. He's going to make him fight at a fast pace. And I just think the speed is definitely going to be the biggest difference. I think Volk is going to be faster all the way around, from the punching to the takedowns, that top pressure, ground and pound, all of those things. I don't think that Zombie has enough in his arsenal to combat all of that. As long as Volk makes it a full MMA fight, Zombie's going to want to keep this thing on the fight if he keeps it on the feet. If he keeps it on the feet, it's going to it'll be a little bit closer of a fight. But I think that Volk's going to have a better chance of mixing this up so much better from the wrestling, from all the kicks, especially the kicks. You go kicks to the wrestling, getting that top pressure, ground and pound. I think he's going to have a great chance.
I kind of look at it the same way you do, a little bit different in that I believe that Zombie will try to take Volkanovski down. I'm not saying that I believe he will be successful, but he will try. Because on the ground, he's damn good. Now, the one thing that you saw out of Volkanovski's last fight, I'm gonna put it out there. If Brian Ortega, in a clean topside guillotine, cannot submit Alexander Volkanovski, Korean Zombie's not going to submit him either. And so it's going to come down to power. They both have power, but Volkanovski has a higher output. Volkanovski is he's incredible. You got to give it to him. The man is just a stud. And I love the Korean Zombie, and I think it's going to be a great fight. I just think systematically as the fight goes on, you're going to see Zombie starting to break down, where Volkanovski is going to continue to build and get stronger and just continue to put the pressure and pace on him and eventually wear him out. I honestly think he might get rid of him by about the late part of the 4th round or so. But it's a great fight, and it definitely could go the other way. Zombie could land a big shot. Anybody can be put out, but Volkanovski has proven that he's got a good chin. He's got incredible toughness. The guy is he's a champ, man, and you got to give it to him. It's hard to go against him in this fight. This wasn't supposed to be Zombie's fight. Now it is. And so I think the UFC put together a really competitive fight. It's just one that the champion tends to have most of the advantages, when you look at them matched up.
Well, who else should they have put him against?
It's a rough one. You can take a look and say that, there's a couple of guys in there. There was guys vying for it and stuff, but I still, if you wanted me to go with the one, it's the guy that Korean Zombie is working out with, Henry Cejudo. I wanted to see that. That's a great fight. And no matter what anyone wants to say, Cejudo, flyweight champion, bantamweight champion, yes, he's been away for a while. I understand that. But when with Volkanovski, what better fight could you have put together than a guy that held 2 titles in 2 different weight classes? It only, in my opinion, builds Volkanovski if he gets the win. And if he doesn't and Cejudo pulls off a miraculous, victory, look at what you got.
Yeah.
The first guy ever to win 3 different weight classes. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But
Dana's afraid of that, I think, because
I think so too.
Because Henry could just leave, do what he did in
Too
the
much.
bantamweight division. Yeah.
Done it to him before. He's not going to do it to him again.
Yep. But I mean, there is Petr Yan, or however you want to say it. I'd like to see that fight as well.
Yeah, but he's
Henry
already
and him.
scheduled to fight Aljamain.
Yeah, I understand. But I'm saying, though, I would have liked to have seen that fight as well, or that down the line, I'd like to have seen that fight.
Yeah, I would love to see that fight. Well, they have worked out together. They've trained together and stuff. So,
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, I've watched sparring sessions between Volkanovski and Yan, and they get after each other. So it would be an interesting fight. It'd be fun.
Good. Should be fun. But this fight, I think, like I said, I think it's gonna be a little bit more one-sided. I do see potentially him beating Zombie or getting him out of there by around the end of the third, maybe the fourth.
Yeah.
So I think you and I are on the same page. But I also think that Volk can't afford to take him lightly.
Oh
he
God,
does
no.
possess power in his hands.
Yeah, if in any way, and I don't think he is, but if in any way Volkanovski is like, taking him like, this is easy, big mistake. He's got to have that same mindset he's had for everyone, for the Max Holloway fights, for the Ortega fight. That's the mindset that gets him where he's at and gets him that win. So that's what he needs.
All right, let's get into the co-main event.
Go. What do you think?
You got Petr Yan versus Aljamain Sterling. I think you're going to see a continuation of what was going on in the first fight. I think Sterling's going to start off fast. He's going to start to slow down by halfway through the second because Yan's going to put the pressure on him. Yan's going to take some shots so early. He's going to take some shots. He's going to end up having to wrestle. I think Sterling's going to be the one that's going to be slowing down because of the wrestling and because of all the movement that he's going to have to utilize. And the output's going to have to be higher for him to keep Yan away from him. And I think you're going to see a continuation of what happened in the first fight. Sterling won the first round, came out, was losing the second. So it was a close fight in that second round. But I'm simply saying that I think that
Close fight till he got dropped on his head.
Yeah. It was a close fight, but I'm saying that it's going to start going that direction towards Yan about midway through the second round because I think Sterling just utilizes too much explosiveness, too much power. He throws everything with bad intentions, which I'm not against, but you've got to learn how to pace yourself when you're fighting somebody like Yan who just walks you down and does that to you. You've got to learn how to fight off your back foot. I don't know if you can learn that. How to stay relaxed fighting off your back foot.
That's the difference.
I don't know if you can learn that in such a short period of time because he did go through the neck surgery, didn't have a lot of time to really bounce around, train. Sure, he's had a full camp. He's had a couple full camps getting ready for this fight twice now, right?
Yep.
So now he's here, but you really need to spend a lot of time on learning on when to attack when your back foot's against the fence, on when to throw your strikes, when to circle out, when not to waste energy. Remember, missing punches almost takes more energy out of you than throwing the punch. Yep. You know what I mean? Than landing the punch. So he's got to be very cautious about how much energy he puts out in that early round, maybe round and a half, 2 rounds. He's got to be careful because that third, fourth, and fifth is when Jan's going to really start putting it on.
I look at this fight, and Aljamain has talked a whole lot of stuff about Petr. And Petr's come back and said things about Aljamain, but there is there's actually a hatred between these two. And There is some animosity there. I really look in Aljamain. Here's the big difference. No matter what anyone says, Aljamain knows what was going on in that first fight. He knows. It doesn't matter what anyone, comes up with, what excuses there are, what foul was committed or any of that. He knows the direction that fight was going. He knows exactly where he was at. So does Petr. And now, after being in there with Aljamain and understanding where Aljamain is strong, understanding the kind of takedowns that he tries, I'll give Aljamain might get the first round because Petr always starts slow. He takes his time and trying to figure out his opponent. But I did do the second fight of Petr Yan and Magomed. And I went back and watched the first one before I did the fight just so I could watch both of them and stuff. And he was a different fighter in the first round of the fight I did, which was his second one with Magomed, than he was the first fight because he'd already figured him out. He'd already knew what was there. He knew what was coming. And I think he knows what's coming with Aljamain. And I think he actually might come out a lot faster than he normally does and start putting shots on Aljamain, which is going to make Aljamain have to fight a little bit of a different fight. Look, Sterling is good. He's a good fighter. No, people can sit there and say whatever they want, take things away from him as far as, he didn't deserve, to be the champion. Okay. All right. But he is a damn good fighter. His whole thing, that he talks about, he was actually the champion before that because it should have been him and Corey Sandhagen when they fought. That's a load of shit. When you get a title fight, you get a title fight. If it's not a title fight, it's not a title fight. So you weren't shit until you take that belt. That's when you're the champion. You're the champ right now. He's the interim champ. We're going to see who's the best guy. And Aljamain is a very talented fighter. He's got a great ground game, but he needs to be on the ground in the top position to beat Petr Yan. I don't think he can do that very often in this fight if he can do it at all.
If he does get him down, do you think he can hold him down?
Nope. I don't. That's why
to think he's gonna have to get 5 takedowns at least, minimum 1 per round.
Yep.
And be able to hold him down for that amount of time.
Keep him down for at least half of the round.
Yeah.
Not an easy task.
It's a tough task. Tough task.
All right, Chimaev and Gilbert Burns.
This is I love Gilbert Burns. I love him as a person. I love him as a fighter. He's fun to watch. He's got power in his hands. Obviously, his ground game is just unbelievable. And the real question in this is, can he use that ground game? Can he get the fight in a position where he can use the skills that he has on the ground to catch Chimaev? And I'm not sure that he can. In the stand-up, I'm being honest, Chimaev is way longer, and very good at controlling distance on the feet. He's going to have a hell of a time against Chimaev on the feet. And then the wrestling part, I do believe that Chimaev is going to be able to keep the fight where he wants it to be if he wants it to be in the stand-up. He's going to be able to take Gilbert down if he wants, and he's going to be able to keep it in the standing position. So the one thing I really think people need to don't expect Chimaev to just run over Gilbert Burns like I think some people are. Do you realize he is like a minus 475 in betting right now? Unbelievable. But that's the hype that this guy has, going into this fight. It's just crazy, but I got to say, I do think he's the favorite. And I know that's weird, but I've told you, look, I watched him fight a lot, for quite a while. He's good everywhere. Now, his submission game is definitely not Gilbert Burns' level, but it doesn't have to be if he can control where the fight is at.
John, a couple of the betting odds had him minus 800 when it first came out.
Holy Jesus Christ.
I was like, what are you guys doing? And then it dropped down to minus 600. And then people started betting on him, and then it went back up to like 640, 660 or something like that, 665.
Who bets that at minus 600?
I don't know. I wouldn't take that chance, not with Gilbert Burns' submissions.
No.
And the speed of Gilbert is good as well. He's just going to have a hard time getting in. And we saw that with Usman when he was able to hit Usman with some clean shots in that fight. The speed's there. He does slow down, though, on the feet, as we saw with Usman as well.
Yep.
You know, a little bit of tension, keeps his chin a little bit. He relies too much on his athleticism. Not quite comfortable just yet on the feet. He is good on the feet, but he's not super comfortable and very technical in terms of defensively. He's good with his hands. He's got fast hands. He's got good wrestling, not great wrestling. His submissions game is probably one of the best in the game right now. So Chimaev, though, he's just a different animal. I haven't seen enough of him, though, John, and I've said this out.
Yeah.
The verdict for me is not out on him yet. I have not seen enough of him. And in a win over Gilbert Burns also, if it happens quickly, I still will not have seen enough of him. So if you guys come to me and say, oh my God, he's the real deal, I don't look at it that way. I have to see a little bit more. Give me somebody that's going to, I understand he'd be Gilbert Burns. I get it.
Okay,
I want to see him fight somebody in the third, fourth, and fifth round.
You've got to explain it. You're right. But it's to sit there and say something. This guy has never been out of the second round.
Yeah.
That's the farthest he's ever gone in a fight, is into the second round. You can't hold that, I've got to see him be in a third or fourth or fifth round. No. If he beats Gilbert Burns and you want to sit there and go, I haven't seen enough, you have lost your fucking mind.
No.
You have lost your mind.
John, I can get 2 good rounds and see enough of him out of it, though. If I come out there and I see an 18-second knockout, that to me is not, I haven't seen enough. Because look, we've seen guys in the past do really well and get knockouts or whatever and look really well, and then all of a sudden they go into the third round, okay, and then or the second and third round, and they start slowing down, their gas tank goes down. All of these things happen. Now, from what I understand, he's always in phenomenal shape. He trains like a madman, okay, and everyone talks about he's got a gas tank that just goes and goes and goes. It reminds me a lot of the other guys from, that have that from Dagestan or other guys that have that Sambo style background where they just continuously go and go and go. So I expect that from him. Gilbert is really good on the ground. I'm expecting this fight to hit the ground at some point. But I do think that if he goes out there and knocks him out in 18 seconds, everyone's going to be like, oh my God, he is the real deal. Look, man, punches are different than a submission where if you catch somebody in a submission, there's a lot of technique that goes into it. I get punches are the same with boxing as well. But with these little tiny gloves, anyone can be knocked out at any moment. And so I want to see a little bit more footage of him into the later rounds. I'm not holding it against him. I just simply think that my verdict will not be, that's for me, unless I see a good, hard-fought 2 rounds or somewhere in there. If you give me a good round where it's back and forth and they're getting after it and he's stuffing takedowns.
You want to see adversity.
Shots. Yeah, I want to see him go through some adversity.
Why?
I don't think he's had to deal with that yet.
He has to deal. Hold on. A smart man deals with it in the training center.
Yeah, this is true.
And makes the fight easy. Isn't that the truth?
Okay. I get it. He may be the real deal. And John, have you reffed any of his fights?
No, I've never reffed. I've watched his fights. I've seen him for a long time.
But you've seen him for a while, and it's like, I get it. But until I see someone go through that adversity, I want to know if they're a real fighter. Look, we've seen some of the best athletes in the world. And I'll give you guys a quick example. There was a wrestler out of Stanford who came to AKA, and I won't mention his name. He was destroying guys in the gym. Got him into a fight, his very first fight. He fought somebody that was relatively okay, but it was his very first fight. He gets hit with one shot. He, kid you not, he ran to the corner in the fetal position and got into the corner and covered up till the ref stopped it. When guys, it's one thing to dominate people. It's another thing to get dropped. It's another thing to get rocked. It's another thing, and to be able to fight out of it. Now, obviously, he's probably built that way. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think Chimaev is not that way. I'm just giving you guys an example. When they get rocked, they get hurt, they get clipped, they don't think and act normally. And so I just want to see him go through a little bit of adversity, fight off a couple hard submissions or close submissions, fight off getting rocked a little bit. I want to see him fight off if he gets slammed on his head, what happens? You know what I mean? I want to see him deal with a little bit of adversity. I'm not hating on him. I think he's a good fighter. I just haven't seen enough yet to jump on the hype train to warrant starting off at minus 800, minus 600.
Well,
that's where I'm at.
That's where, bookies are smart. And they want to get people going a certain way, and that's what they're doing. But you look at those numbers against the guy who he's fighting, and you go, That's just nuts. But this is the fight that, when you take a look at this card, this one it's probably got as much interest or more than any other fight on the card.
Yeah.
It really does. Which is all because of, look at Chimaev. You talk about a guy that moves the needle, they're fucking clamoring for this guy. And it's going to be interesting to see.
How did the Petr Yan and Aljamain Sterling fight not end up being the main event?
Basically, it's bantamweight compared to featherweight. That's it.
Oh, man. I mean, because to me, that's a better fight than the main event. And I also think that Gilbert Burns and Chimaev is a better fight, but you got to have the title fights up at the top. I get it. But I feel like it's a better, more closely contested fight than the main event. Next.
Probably is. All right, Mackenzie Dern against the tiny tornado, Tecia Torres. This is an interesting matchup, but it's one that you take a look and go, Tecia Torres on the feet, very fast, doesn't possess a ton of power as far as in her hands, but she's got a lot of kicks, brings a lot of different techniques onto her opponent. The way she attacks him, she's just very, very good at what she does and has gotten nothing but better. But Mackenzie Dern on the ground is going to be trouble. She's trouble for anyone on the ground, basically, but for Tecia has to stay away from being on the ground, even in the top position with Mackenzie Dern.
But can she do that?
I don't think so.
I think I love Tecia Torres.
Yep.
You guys know that. Everyone listens to the show, they know I love her. She's an absolute, she's a dynamite of a fighter. I love her movement. I think that's where Mackenzie Dern's going to have a hard time, is having to be able to get a hold of her before she moves left and right. Tecia Torres got great lateral movement. Her punches and kicks come from all different angles. That's going to throw her off a little bit. So in that fight, she's got to make sure she lands her combinations, and gets out in circles and gets out of the range of the takedown. I think from that position, if she can do that, I think she's going to have some success. But she's going to have to make it a boring fight. Mackenzie's going to run her down, try to get her down, and Ticia's going to have to make it boring. She's got to hit her and then run. If she lets her feet settle for a second, okay, it's going to be a really hard night for her.
Yeah.
She lets her feet settle down, and then she ends up getting taken down. She'll be on the bottom, just fighting for her life. That's what's going to happen.
Trying not to drown.
Mackenzie Dern, she's getting better on the stand-up. What scares me a little bit on the stand-up is
she's
better. Long.
A lot better.
She's getting a lot better.
Jason Perillo has done an outstanding job.
Yep.
And I don't want to take anything away from Mackenzie because she's the one that is, putting all of that out there. But Jason Perillo has done a fantastic job of getting her to understand how to throw those punches, the technique behind it, the footwork, the lateral movement that she's coming up with, the way to set up, and set little traps so those shots get in there and work. He's done a fantastic job with Mackenzie, and she's done a great job in taking everything that he's been giving her and putting it into practice.
Yeah. Yeah, she just got to keep doing that. Just to stay along with the jab, throwing the right hands, making sure she's keeping the range with her long jab. And then try to cut Tecia Torres off. Don't chase her around the cage. She can cut her off, put her back foot to the fence, try to get it on the takedown against the fence. But where she lacks, which is Mackenzie Dern, she lacks in the wrestling. Her wrestling is not that great. And so we saw in her last fight, she was struggling to get the fight to the ground. Dropping down on the legs should be an option because that opens up a lot of other options for her when she gets down there. So if she drops down on the leg, I know I get very nervous saying, hey, drop down an ankle lock. But when you have to, she's a different level of jiu-jitsu practitioner when it comes to hitting the ground than all these other females. All of them. There's one or two in there that could probably hang with her on the ground. But when it comes to being punched and thrown the submission, she still does a great job at that as well. Not like a lot of these other jiu-jitsu players. When they hit the ground and they start getting hit, they become different fighters. She's a real fighter. She's someone that will take a shot or two if she's working closer to the submission. She'll abandon it if she's not, and she'll move into something else, maybe working for a sweep to get on top. But she utilizes that leg lock position or those type of positions to sweep and get on top, and then she does her work. She doesn't necessarily need to focus on getting the leg lock to get the finish as much as she utilizes it to get to a better position to stay on top and keep the fight on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great fight. Tisha is that, she's called the Tiny Tornado for a reason. She is a buzzsaw, but she definitely needs to be on her best, be on her horse. Footwork is key to getting a victory here, and just keep touching her. Don't ever go for the big shot on her. Keep touching her in this and make her get frustrated with the takedowns, but I'm not sure she can do that.
Yeah.
Vince Pichel, my old man Vince Pichel, started out at my gym long ago. He was the guy we called the maybe, because the coach I had said no, and I said no, let's put him. Okay, we'll make him a maybe, and we took him and just turned into just a tough ass good fighter, going against a great wrestler in Mark Madsen, a guy who utilizes his Olympic level wrestling to get people to the ground, but he's in against a dog with Vince Pichel. I'm just telling you, Pichel is, first off, super strong, unbelievably strong for the weight class. Second, not fast, but durable,
Not fast.
durable, and has good submissions. He really does. He can pull shit off. So this is a really good matchup. Madsen's never lost. Pichel has he lost his UFC debut coming off of whatever it was, season 13 of The Ultimate Fighter, lost to Kabalov. And,
Kabalov.
Ruslan, and lost when he got suplexed multiple times onto his head. And that was one loss, then lost to Gregor Gillespie. So that's the real question, because he lost to Gregor Gillespie. Madsen, very similar to Gregor Gillespie as far as style. Did you learn anything from that Gregor Gillespie fight that you can put into practice here and make it so you can stop what Mark Madsen does?
I guess we're going to find out.
We are.
The fight that I want to see is Tybura versus Rosenstruck. Two heavy guys getting after it. I want to see if Tybura's chin is good enough to withstand that power. And I want to see if Tybura is going to utilize a little bit of wrestling.
He would.
To mix this thing up.
Is he going to be able to? That's the question. Because he will use his hands to get in. He will go after him with that to try to get him to the ground. Can he get him to the ground? Because if he doesn't get him to the ground, he's going to have a hard time with.
Is he fast enough to get in on his legs and get him to the ground? That's the question. Is he fast enough to get the double unders without getting knocked out first? That's the question. The other fight, too.
Hold on. I can't believe you're passing Ian Gary. What is wrong with you?
Oh, sorry.
Have
you jumped all the way to the bottom of the card, John. I just jumped back up. You jumped to like the first prelim.
No. I was on the main card with Vince Pichel, and all of a sudden you went to Tybura.
No, Vince Pichel was down on the bottom.
Vince Pichel's on the main card. What is wrong with you?
I don't think so. It shows here on SureDog, it shows he's on the bottom.
Well,
yeah, he's down here in the prelims. Ian Gary and Darian Weeks is.
Oh, so they moved it.
On the main.
Okay, I have the list that says he's on the main card.
You guys, this is how John wins bets. See, he changes the rules. Oh, they moved it.
Right.
No, I think it's what's it called? Ian Gary, I think is on the main card.
Yeah, Ian Gary's good.
But then you got Aspen Ladd and Raquel Pennington. You've got Tybura and Rosenstruck. I mean, there's some good prelims on this card.
There's some great. Hold on, right there again. Bring that up.
Go back.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So shut up. You shut your whore mouth. Okay.
Let's see.
Bring it up a little bit.
Yeah, there you go.
There he is.
Oh,
that's on you. Well, that's
no.
on UFC.com, but
Podcast
always...
Dave, you shut up.
John, how many times in the past?
You keep my name out of your whore mouth.
How many times in the past has this been wrong though? Where we've come to the UFC events page and
so you're gonna believe in SureDog because you are the expert there?
Well,
oh man!
Remember, every time we in the past has happened,
right now.
SureDog's been up to date and UFC's not been. So
excuse me, are you seeing the UFC's?
We'll find out
list?
on Friday.
Are you seeing the UFC's list? Can you read that list real quick for me?
You're
Come
right,
on,
John.
Scotty.
Dana White's probably the correct
Come on,
one.
Scotty. Oh, main card: Vince Pichel, Mark Madsen. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
and
they have 100%. They have 100%. They have a 100% accuracy rate.
Dave, just say it. Just say it.
The
You were
staff are
wrong.
on top of it.
You were wrong. It's okay.
I find it
Okay.
kind of weird that they would put that fight on the main card, though, John, with other
I
fights
don't.
on there. You
I
don't?
don't. I believe that you're looking. Take a look at the records of them too.
I mean, but you've got other like name people that are on this card down below.
Why did you go back to Sherdog? Have you
More
lost
accurate.
your mind? You
It's
just
more
saw
accurate.
that it's wrong, and you go right back to him.
All right, hold on. We're
Oh,
gonna
yeah, hold on.
do a little due diligence here. How about that?
Okay.
How about
Okay.
that?
Let's see. John's not gonna let it go because John's right.
because you
John's
guys-
finally right for once.
All right, let's see.
I love it. That was fun. Thank you.
We have
I
to-
want to
we
say
have to
thank you to
stroke-
the
we have to
UFC.
stroke John's-
I
we have to stroke
appreciate
John's
them
ego.
for having their list that shows that that's the order.
This is great.
Oh,
This is great.
Well, there's no report on it being.
Oh, no, yeah, there's no
bumped
report.
from
You know what?
anything, so.
I'm gonna have to call Joe and see how much Jamie's gonna cost to do it. At least he gets shit right. God damn.
All right. Well, I'll look
Damn
forward to the card, the the visual thing they post on Fridays with the full card layout and the time slots and everything. I'll look forward
Okay.
to that with Ian Gary and Darian Weeks on the main card. I'll look forward to that, John. I'll send you a screenshot and everything just so that you you can enjoy your Friday night. Okay.
Hey.
This is so great.
Just be honest, Dave. Just say it. Just say it. You were wrong.
He'll have to tell you after Friday night. This is
Whatever.
hilarious.
Ian Gary against Darian Weeks. That's a good fight, but Ian Gary is too much for Darian Weeks, I believe. It's Ian is that kid's good, tough, and just a banger. So good fight. What do you think about Aspen
Raquel.
Ladd and Raquel Pennington?
I think John, the Aspen lad just hasn't been the same since all the criticism, all the
I
coaching,
agree.
cornering stuff, and everything else. I think her confidence is shot. I think she's lost and confused on what's going on in her fight camps and maybe in her life. I mean, all these things. I know it seems a little stretch when I say in her life, but you remember when you're a fighter, fighting is pretty much your life and should be your life during this time. And that's the problem. I think maybe her coaching, her cornering, her training, all of those things, maybe they're saying that it's right, but she hasn't looked the same since she took her first loss.
Yeah, I agree with you.
You know,
in that she just when the lights started to get really bright, she started to find problems. And she got the fight that she lost against Jermaine. Hey,
Yeah.
no big deal and stuff. But things started to just become heavier for her at that point. Right now, Raquel Pennington has been fighting very well, smart in the stand up. She's good. Can she keep the fight on the feet? I think she can to a point. Aspen needs to be more of the full-styled MMA fighter, use her stand-up to get into the takedowns, get Raquel off of her feet where she's not near as good and not near as effective when she's on the ground. Her submission game is not, that dangerous. So I think Aspen, if she can get the fight to the ground, has a very good chance of winning this fight. I think if it stays on the feet, I think Raquel Pennington has got more power in her shots, and I think in the end she's going to get the win if it stays upright.
Yeah, I expect this fight to stay upright. I think Raquel's going to be able to stuff the takedowns. Aspen Ladd's not extremely fast. She's tough, but she's not extremely fast. I think it's going to be harder for her to get in on the takedowns. And Raquel's, she's a big female. She's got some good size to her, heavy hips. She's going to be someone that can just dig down her hook, lift her up, get her back off the fence, start laying shots. So we'll see. But I think that Raquel's just got to be busy. She's got to make sure that she keeps the combinations coming. If she's just throwing one shot, I mean, it could end up being a closer fight than it should be. So she's got to try to land the hard shot, but she's also got to open up a little bit more. Sometimes in the past, she's just kind of she's putting pressure, but she's not throwing enough combinations to really sway the judges or whatever it is. She needs to be very active, keeping Aspen Ladd guessing and keeping that jab and keeping those punches in her face to fluster her. And I think with Aspen right now, it's a snowball effect. As soon as she starts touching her, the frustration level will set in and she'll start kind of willing backwards a little bit. And it's a snowball effect.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
what are the fights on this card?
I like Mickey Gall. Like I said, Mickey Gall's grown up now, basically in the UFC. And his easiest fights were his first fights that he ever had there. They've given him a lot of tough fights since then. So I really am impressed with how much he has progressed, how much he has grown as a fighter. He's damn good. He's a tough kid. He's got a very good submission game. His stand-up has gotten way better. And he's got, some losses in the last part. He had a tough fight against Alex Morano in his last one, which really was an enjoyable fight. They were both going after it. Morano started off, they were basically the same because Morano was that, jiu-jitsu guy that started liking the stand-up and everything. But Mickey had a big win against, Jordan Williams before that, and then lost to Alex Morano. So he's coming off with a loss. This is going to be a tough fight, but this is a fight that I think he matches up very well with Mike. So should be this is a good prelim fight. I like it.
One of your favorites, Alexei Oleinik. And then he's fighting Vandera.
He's so slow now. He is so slow now. It scares me. I really like Alexei, and he's just unbelievably tough and talented as far as his ground and submission game, but he's so slow getting in there now. Take a look at how many fights does he have? He's got to have, close to 80 fights?
Right? Oh, that many?
Yeah.
Is he coming in? He's got to be somewhere close. He's got at least 70, I would say.
One draw, so it's 60, 76.
70, coming up on 80 fights, dude. Jeez. Yeah, but it is showing, too. His stand-up is scary, as far as scary that you don't want to see someone with good stand-up go against him. He's going against Vandera, and a brawler, but a guy in the stand-up that has actually pretty fast hands for a big guy, and he can touch him up, and he's got to stay away from the ground with Alexei for the most part. But on the feet, I think that Jared Vandera is going to be too much for Oleinik.
If this fight hits the ground, though, Oleinik should take it.
Yeah, if it hits the ground. Yeah. But Jared's got to make a big mistake and be not fighting intelligently to allow himself to be on the ground. If you knock Oleinik down, back up, make him get up.
Yeah.
Be a smart fighter and just go about doing your business again. Do it again to him, make him get up, and that's how you get your win.
Got it.
Whoa.
Yeah, that sounded great.
You're dying.
Nah. Oh, man. All right, so that's going to wrap up our UFC talk. And let's get into MyBookie. So MyBookie.ag. Use our promo code weighing in. There's going to be a little QR code off to the side when we're talking about these. We're going to break these fights down. John and I will tell you what fights we think should be good bets. Now, look, it doesn't necessarily mean that we believe that fighter's going to win. We just believe that the other fighter,
take a chance on it.
Take a chance and make a little bit of extra money. So it comes down to what you guys, how you guys look at the betting odds. So we're going to give you a little advice, and you guys can take it or leave it. So, but go to mybookie.ag, use our promo code weighing in. You get a little extra spending cash for your first initial deposit. So make sure you guys check that out. All right, John, let's get into this.
Oh my goodness, where are we at with this? I'm looking at Tisha Torres, so my man Dave is really screwing up again. He can't even pull up the main event. Jesus Christ.
It's right here in the bottom. They have it in reverse order this time.
Oh, reverse order. Excuse me.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, scroll it up, though. Can we put it at the top, please?
All right.
There you go. Come on, Dave. You could make it a little easier for us. Our eyes are not that good.
See, and you look at this, right. A minus 710 for Volkanovski against a plus 485 for Son. I mean, hard to go with this fight. I mean, if you're gonna go, like I said, this is one I like betting on the fight, so I'll put $20 down on the Korean Zombie. I'll put $20 down to win, a couple $100, make me happy. But I think Volkanovski's gonna win the fight.
Yeah, I think where I would go though, John, is I'd probably go under the 4.5. So under 4.5 is what? Plus 130. I'd probably take that. So it's gonna go. I think it's gonna go under 4.5 rounds.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand why. But
I think Volk can get him out of there probably by the third and the fourth.
How many
I'd
people?
I'd feel more comfortable putting $20 down on the under than I would on him winning, than Zombie winning. I know that the payout's more on if Zombie wins if I put $20 down, but I would feel more comfortable knowing that Volk's probably going to win in under 4.5.
I look at it this way, and I agree. I actually said that I think Volkanovski will win somewhere around the 4th round. But I look at it also and I go, it's to make the bet. There's been 2 guys. Yair Rodriguez stopped him with 1 second left in the 5th round with that crazy elbow, that upper elbow thing. And he was winning, and Zombie was winning that fight. So, that changed from a win to a loss right there. The only other guy that I can remember stopping him was Aldo, and I think that was the 4th round.
No, Brian Ortega knocked him out with a spinning back fist.
No, he didn't. Knocked him down.
He knocked him
went to
down.
a unanimous decision.
Okay, who else beat him? Who else finished
Aldo.
him?
Aldo?
TKO,
Yeah, Aldo TKO. Yep.
Yeah, see, 4th round.
Yep.
So that's a tough one, and it was right at what? What was the time on that?
It was 2
Close to
minutes
that.
in the 4th.
Close to that 4.5.
He
It's
did
a
get
tough
knocked
one.
out in the second
The dude's durable.
in WEC.
He got knocked out. He got knocked out by Roop
in the
with
second
a head
round.
kick.
George Roop knocked him out. Wow.
Yeah.
So it can be done.
Oh, it can. Yeah. So it's a rough one.
I would take the under. Just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
but if you want to, yeah.
I can understand why.
Yeah. Because look, Volk's going to fight at a very fast pace. He's going to fight at a fast pace. He's going to mix it up very well with the kicks, the grappling. I mean, the grappling, but the wrestling and the takedowns and the ground and pound. And I think Zombie off of his back is not the same fighter. If he's on his feet, he possesses a lot of power in his feet. He's got an awkward style of stand up. But I think Volk can stand with him if he wants to. We saw he can stand with Max Holloway. He can stand with Zombie.
Yep.
And he's going to out-wrestle. I think he's going to out-wrestle him. He's going to make him work in a lot of areas that he's not comfortable in. So he's going to fight at a pace that he probably won't be able to keep up with.
Petr Yan. Where's that one at? Since I don't see it up there. Come on, Dave.
There is.
Jeez,
This
Dave.
is just a bad day for you.
Oh my
Bad.
god.
Bad.
Can't wait till Friday.
He's
All right, so here is the co-main right there. Since you're making me scroll the opposite direction.
Yeah.
I had to take over for the harassment from Josh. He didn't have a voice to do it today.
Yes. You're doing a great job. Thumbs
Thank
up.
you.
Thumbs up.
Thank you very much, sir. All right, Aljamain Sterling looking at. Oh my God, this tells you what everyone. And this is just this is based off of going off of the last fight, and I don't blame people. Minus 350 for
Plus 350.
I'm sorry, plus 350 and minus 500. Plus 350 for Aljamain Sterling, minus 500, and then you got to look to that over under 4.5 is minus 125 for the over, plus 115.
No, I think it's minus 105. Dave, can you make this bigger, please?
Yeah, there you
Midget
go.
time.
There you
Oh,
go.
thank you. You're a good man, Dave. I just want you
I
to
know.
minus 105 for the under.
Yeah.
So you're almost at even odds going under. It might happen.
Yeah.
I think honestly that's where I would go. I would
Yeah,
go
I
to
don't-
the under at almost even at minus 105 on this fight. I don't want to give up I don't want to put $500 down to win 100. But I'll definitely put $100 down to win $100 down on the under.
Yeah, I think for me personally, I'd probably avoid this fight, because I would lean more towards Yan getting the win.
Yeah.
And I think Yan getting I think it is going to go under. I think Yan
And why are you
gets the
staying
finish
away?
under. I probably, because it is one of those fights where I could see Sterling gutting it out to the very end.
Yeah.
Taking a lot of damage, especially in the 4th and 5th.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I would stay away from it. My personal opinion. What else is next?
Oh, here's the one. It's actually gone
Jeez.
down, so people are putting money
Yeah.
on Gilbert because Gilbert is a plus 390, while Khamzat Chimaev is minus 540, and the over/under is at a round and a half. I would definitely go the over. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go the over on it. I know,
so.
Chimaev has not gone past the second round in this. He might actually touch the third round in this fight.
Think so?
Well, I mean, he could be submitted before it.
Yeah.
Could be knocked out. He could knock out Gilbert. He's not going to submit Gilbert, but I honestly think if he's able to, if Gilbert hits the ground with him and stuff, Gilbert won't be putting out that much energy. He'll put out some trying to stop shots and everything, but what was it, John? What was Chimaev's first fight in the UFC? John Phillips, I think. Is that what it was?
Here, I'll find it.
Thank you. I think it was John Phillips. I think he went to the second round with him.
Yeah, it was.
Okay. That was at Fight Island, I know, but that was Chimaev coming in on a week's notice too. He was a replacement. So I don't know. I personally would go the over on that one. I would bet the over on it.
Think so.
Yep. I'm not gonna. I could put money down on Gilbert at plus 390. Again, trying to win some money, but it's almost that same as the Korean Zombie thing. This is one of those I kind of feel like I know who's going to win the fight, but it's tough to sit there and bet on it because of the amount of money that you got to put out to win.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. I don't think I want to put a whole lot of money down on this fight. I mean, you could. I would probably take. For me, I'd probably take the under. I would only probably take the under, only based on the fact that Gilbert could end up putting too much pressure on himself to get this fight to the ground.
Yep.
And if he gets tired and then you can't get the fight to the ground, the chin starts softening up, shots get, and if Chimaev starts putting heavy pressure on him, stuff in the takedowns, he may be able to catch him with something. So I would probably take the under.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. But if you're going to take the under in 1.5 on Chimaev, I mean.
You're going to put out the 540?
You may want to. I don't know.
It's rough.
I would just take the under. I would just take the under at $100. 110, whatever.
All right, Tisha Torres. This is the fight I think I would actually bet on. And I bet quite a bit because it's an even fight. Minus 115 on both, meaning it's completely even. That 15 that you're getting, that's the VIG. And over is at 2.5 rounds, minus 190. Under is at 2.5 rounds, plus 155. I got to tell you, this is a fight I would bet.
What would you take?
I take
McKenzie?
McKenzie Dern.
Interesting. Yeah, John, I can't argue with that. If you're going to take McKenzie Dern, though, at even money, you might as well take the under also.
Absolutely. At 2.5, I would. Plus
what submissions will happen fast, and they'll happen early in the first round, maybe round and a half. I would say I'd probably take the under. So, yeah, especially the even money. Even money. So, all right, what other fights on here?
All right, you got.
Oh, it's on the main card, buddy.
Oh, look at that.
There's that fight. You might be in trouble, Dave.
Go ahead, Dave.
Me?
So.
Say it. Just say it, Dave. Dave,
Well,
go ahead.
We'll see on Friday, like I said. It's not official. It's
Oh, now
not
you have
official
to go-
till it's official.
Now you have to go all the way to Friday. I got it.
No. I said that.
Oh,
like
no.
20 minutes ago.
No, it's okay. A real man's able to sit there and say, yeah, okay, I was wrong. No problem.
Yeah, and the real man
Real
will say
man.
that on Friday when you're proven wrong.
Interesting.
I love it.
So Pichel is the minus 135. Madsen is plus 105.
Which is
Talk to me, Goose.
amazing. That's putting Pichel as the favorite against a guy that's undefeated.
Interesting. I don't know. Let me see. So you're taking Michelle for the 135?
I don't know. He's my guy, and I want him to win. But against the wrestling of Madsen, the one thing here, this is the difference. Gregor Gillespie, when you look at him when he wrestles or when he's fighting MMA and he's wrestling, he doesn't get tired. He can go. He's got a gas tank. Madsen slows down, and I'm telling you right now, if he slows down at all in this, Pichel is not going to wear out. Pichel has got a gas tank, and he can go. And he's going to throw all kinds of weird, awkward stuff, but it works. And if Madsen starts to slow down in this at all, he's going to be in trouble. So he's got to be in great shape. I take a look at it, the over-under. I honestly think, it's tough to go the over at 2.5 when it's minus 95. Because they think it's going to go long on it. So do I. But I think I would just pick one fighter over the other at minus 135. You're not that far off. And plus 105, you take Madsen, an undefeated fighter, you're putting $100 down to win 105. Not bad.
But how does Madsen win when he gets the fight to the ground?
He's not going to submit Pichel. He's going to have to ground and pound him, similar to what Gillespie did. And really, he's got to make him work because Pichel is very good at getting back to his feet, but let him get back to his feet, set up your takedown as he's getting back to his feet, and then return him right to the mat. So all that effort and all that work is for naught, and then just continually, have this, just pattern that you keep doing. That will, get him the win.
Got it. All right, guys. Well, hey, that's going to wrap up our MyBookie.ag conversation. We will use our promo code weighing in. Hopefully you guys take a little bit of our advice. Let us know if you guys want any money. Hit us up in the comments. And, because I still read those bad boys. I love them. All right, Dave, get us off on some news. Or what else we got? Oh, we're going to touch first on the BK. On the bare knuckle boxing, you got
bare knuckle
Rickles versus
boxing
Richmond.
main event.
Yeah, we'll talk the main event real quick. John, what do you got?
Dude, we got Mike Richmond, who used to fight featherweight in Bellator. Tough dude, ex-Marine, great guy. Really packed on some weight as far as, he's bulked up. He looks good. He's fighting Dave Rickles, the caveman, a guy that is he's a show stealer there in Kansas. This has got to be in Kansas. This is where this fight is happening. It has to be, because that's why Rickles would be the headliner. He brings a ton of people. Dave Rickles is tough as hell. Mike Richmond has got the smoother, more technically sound-looking stand-up. I don't know if he has the power. With bare knuckle, you've always got the power to put someone away. Rickles is he's a gamer. He's tough, but in looking at this, just speed-wise and everything, Richmond's probably going to be faster than Rickles. Rickles might be a little bit as far as the height and everything. What's his height compared to Richmond? Richmond wasn't that short, but he's going to have some length and height advantage to a point. But this is a good matchup. These guys are both gamers, both scrappers. Neither one gives an inch, so it's a fun fight.
Rickles still, to me, has one of the best walkouts ever.
Oh, he's had a couple of the best walkouts.
When they did the mannequin challenge, and then Bellator was able to get the audience to be part of it.
Yeah.
That was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
He had one where he came out with the giant T-Rex dinosaur behind him and stuff that was moving. Yeah. He had one where he had the Flintstone mobile. Remember the Flintstone mobile? And he comes out and that, and it was great. He's awesome. Great guy.
All right, well, wish the best of luck to both of them, and best of luck. Best of best. All right, Dave, let's get into some news.
All right. So this first story is around the PFL. So there, the PFL's been flagged for suspicious betting activity, and basically the story is that there were a bunch of rapid changes in the betting, and the suspected report is that PFL had recorded their last Challenger series on ahead of the actual airing of it, and so that was what affected the betting, and so now they're under investigation for it. Kind of in the same breath, PFL apparently has a Challenger series this Friday on the 8th. I'm seeing it on Sherdog, but there's no fights for it, and I can't find any reports or anything that tell me why there are no.
Hell, you can't even get the right main event fights for the UFC.
Oh
I don't expect you to.
He's jabbing at you right now, Dave.
That one was fun. I'm sorry.
I poke at you in fun. This guy's poking at you for real. Oh, man.
It's going to be so sweet on Friday when I prove John wrong.
No.
You know what? I was gonna tell you, hey Dave, man, I'm sorry for that one. I was just joshing, but now eat that one, Dave.
just joshing. I love that. Just joshing you.
Yep.
This is not good.
What does it remind you of? Does it remind you of anything?
Yeah, basketball betting, Pete Rose betting.
Yeah,
it reminds me of just being shady. And look, I don't know if they are. I don't know if they were involved in it.
doesn't matter. It looks bad. If you go back in time in fighting, go back. Do you remember Elite XC?
Yes.
Do you remember Kimbo Slice having a last-minute replacement with Seth Petrozelli?
Yes, I do.
Do you remember that there was supposedly a backroom agreement that Seth Petrozelli would not be trying to take the fight to the ground and would stand with Kimbo and bang? And do you remember there was this bald guy named Dana White that came out in all the media saying, that shit's illegal, because he knew that that was a death blow. You start to do anything that people can sit there and say, man, you are altering the fights, or you're altering the ability as far as gambling on things. Man, this is bad. And I'm not saying the PFL did this. I hope that this comes out where it's like, no.
Yeah.
It just doesn't look good with the fans, and especially people that do put bets down. This is bad. You can't have this kind of thing. It can ruin you.
Yeah, if you're a gambling site, you don't want your name anywhere associated with them. And right now, the biggest money to be made is from gambling sites.
Yes.
When it comes to these promotions, these sports, these booking agents, and all these other things,
DraftKings.
DraftKings,
BetMGM,
MyBookie, all these companies, they're dishing out a lot of money.
Yep, they are.
So, it's not a good look, because you may end up losing your sponsor. That's not good. That's not good, John.
Not good.
And then not only that, but then this is the other thing. I saw this on the bottom of the ESPN ticker last night.
See, that's bad.
So it says ESPN's launching an investigation on it.
Well, that's because who covers it?
ESPN.
What do you think ESPN will do if that happened?
Give them the boot.
Drop it.
Yeah.
They will boot them fast, because they can't have that. People sometimes don't understand how serious this type of crap is when it comes to the sporting world. This goes back, all the way into, look, this is the mobsters and stuff trying to, adjust the outcomes. This is Vince McMahon shit, okay? As far as that's why it's pro wrestling. Vince McMahon gets to, determine, you like this, Dave? This is good for you because you love this shit. He has that predetermined outcome. That's why no one bets on professional wrestling.
Actually, you can now.
Stop.
You can. Yeah, you can.
What are you gonna bet?
Bet for who I think is gonna win.
Yeah.
Not that I watch it.
How in the world could they even have that? Because there's people that know who's gonna win, so they can bet.
But John, do you know who's gonna win?
Doesn't matter.
I don't know who's gonna win.
I know there's someone that does.
And that bookie doesn't know who's gonna win. He may, but maybe he doesn't.
Apparently, all these guys covered WWE.
Wow.
Show me it.
All right,
MyBookie does. MyBookie does down there.
MyBookie, you cover. Have you lost your minds?
Song tennis. All right, let's see.
That's so funny.
Here.
I don't think they could do a lot of things with it. I don't think they could do the win-loss.
Does he get body slammed? Does he get this?
Yeah, exactly. Does he hit him with the whatever his finish?
Yeah, but then you still know. But they know the moves also.
Yeah, but that's it. That you could hit him with the finishing move, and he remarkably gets out. All that bullshit.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking. MyBookie, I couldn't find it. I looked under the entertainment section. It wasn't there. But
I don't see. I've never seen a website actually have a thing on wins and losses in pro wrestling. Come on.
Should be. Maybe we should start one, John.
God. Stay away from it. All right, let's go. Next one.
Next. All right, next story. Julianna Pena has been doing the rounds with some comments recently, and I've got a couple of comments that she's made, separately. But the first one is targeted towards Ronda Rousey, and she came out and said, Ronda Rousey got knocked out twice and never came back. So how legit is she? She had to go to pro wrestling. If it gets under her skin to know that her legacy is kind of ruined by the fact that she never came back and never got back on the horse, then I would like to invite her to please come back. And if she would like to come back, I welcome her with open arms.
What else did she say? 'Cause she also called her a joke.
Well, that's the main kind of portion of the comment.
That's the main thing. But she also you're missing parts of it, because there was a lot that Julianna Pena said. Look, I like Julianna Pena, but you have lost your mind. Okay, what? Let's break this down as simple as it can be. What did? Is it that Ronda Rousey was only a fighter, and yeah, she was the champion, and she had these fast wins, and then she lost twice and was gone? If that's the way you're looking at it, you're not giving credit to where credit is due. I am not saying that Ronda Rousey started women's MMA. She didn't. Okay, and I can bring up the women that were doing it long before Ronda Rousey even thought about doing it. But it was Ronda Rousey that you can thank for you having that belt in that organization that you're fighting for called the UFC. Because Dana, how many times had come out saying there will never be women fighting in the UFC? There will never be women fighting in the UFC. And there was one woman that chirped at him and then goes after him, actually walks up to him in restaurants and opens her mouth and makes it to where, because she had her contract bought, basically taken over. She was in Strikeforce. Strikeforce gets bought out by the UFC. And with that, because she opened her mouth and made Dana, in a way, say, all right, we'll try it. And he realized, oh, this person moves the needle. Oh, my God, this is something good. She's the reason that you're able to work where you're working. You should respect that. This is the same as, we'll say, Josh Thompson. Josh Thompson weighed 155 pounds when he fought. Do I think that Josh, in a MMA fight near the end of his career, could have beaten Royce Gracie near the end of his career? Absolutely. Okay? Just a more complete fighter. Does that take anything away from what Royce did? How many guys do you see bagging on Royce Gracie? You know why? They're not bagging on him because he's the guy that opened the goddamn door. And you should respect that, because that's everything. You can have your opinion that you could beat Ronda Rousey. That's okay. And I'm 100% behind you believing that. But her leaving, it may not have been what you would have done. But she left, and she's making a lot of money, and she's happy with where she's at. And you should respect the fact that she was the person that basically got you the ability to be where you're at, making the comments that you're making off of what she set up for you. You need to take a step back. That belt's getting too shiny, and it's starting to blind your eyes.
I pretty much ditto everything you're saying. I think I agree with you 100%. I think that with Ronda, right? I think you can see it with Kayla Harrison as well. Started off in judo, went from judo to MMA. Now, and then now having a kid. Same thing with Kayla, having kids. Their lives change.
Sure.
They've achieved one goal. They've achieved the next goal. I wouldn't be surprised if Kayla Harrison runs off and does WWE or whatever else either. It would not surprise me, knowing that she's got such a vocal voice. Ronda didn't really have it. She had a vocal voice in the sport of MMA, but she wasn't a very vocal person. She was good. She was very good. She was a very good fighter, but she didn't have that, the voice that, say, like Kayla Harrison has. Like, she's very vocal. Kayla Harrison's very vocal.
Yeah.
She was not. She said some things, but she was not. She let her actions, tell everyone who she was in that cage. But what Julianna's missing is that she achieved both goals in the Olympics, being in the Olympics, and as well as being, a champion in MMA. Then she went off, and now she's in the WWE. Let her ride off into the sunset.
Hell yes.
Leave her alone.
Yeah.
She's got a family. She's married. She has kids. Like, leave her alone. Look, not every female, not every male's dream is to fight for their whole life. It's not their dream. It's like, look, I do it because I'm good at it. I do it because I make a lot of money at it. It's not their dream to keep doing this shit forever. Like, people still hit me up. Hey, why don't you make a comeback?
Oh yeah.
Fuck you. I have no desire to make any comeback. You know, and it's not just me. Other fighters that have left, I've talked to certain ones and they're like, yeah, I fought till the bitter end. And I was just done. I had nothing left in me. I was just done. And that's okay. It's time to go move on and do other things. You know, and so in this situation, Julianna, I think right now is playing the perfect part, John. She's playing the heel. Yep. Because people have already made her out to be the heel. She's going to continue to be that way. And the fact that she's saying stuff about Ronda, she's saying stuff about Amanda Nunes, she's saying stuff about everyone. That's part of her shtick. Let her be her. I get what she's doing. She's trying to garner more attention. We're here now talking about this.
Yeah, true.
We're making her relevant until her next fight. Smart play by her. I hope it's just a stick, but I think it is. I think this is who she decided to be. She has been vocal before in the past. This is how she got that title shot against Amanda Nunes. Yeah. No, I want her. I can beat her. She's tailor-made for me. All of those things. She's fought lesser opponents and lost to them. And so for her, she knew stylistically that was a good matchup for her. I think that she plays a good heel. She's going to continue to be this heel, I think. And look, you win long enough to become the heel. You know, and that's kind of where she's at right now. She's kind of in that position. So I think she's doing this hopefully as a stick. I mean, there's probably a little bit of her that would like to fight Ronda.
I'm sure she would.
I think she needs to leave Ronda alone because like you said, there's fighters that the game's evolved so much, you know. If you go back and you look at some of the old female fighters, sorry, excuse me, and you were to match them up with her now, she would walk right through them. Yep. It wouldn't be. It'd be a joke. Yeah. Her herself, she's evolved so much since she came into the UFC.
How many times have we said that? How many times have we said, look, if you're not 100% in, get out.
Yeah.
And guess what? Ronda wasn't 100% in at the end. Get out. And that's what she did. That was the right move. Julianna, she's 100% in. I agree with you. I think she's just trying to play the heel part, maybe try to coax Ronda back because she believes that would be a big money fight, and it would be great for her, but don't disrespect what she did.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. So she also came out and talked about Nunes at the 145 in the 145 division as a champion, and she said, let's talk about this for a second. Holly Holm and Jermaine both said they're not going back to featherweight at 145. They're staying at bantamweight. Megan Anderson retired. Felicia retired. Can you name anyone else in the division other than Amanda? She's a champ at 145 of who? Yeah, I mean, she says she's still the champ of a division of one person, so that's nice.
She's playing the hill, John.
It's called All In.
Yeah. She wants to make sure that this second fight's a big fight for her in pay-per-view.
Okay.
You know, smart. So she's saying things like this. Because, look, if she goes out there and starches her again, what are people going to say? They're going to start saying she's the greatest female. We know it's going to come out of Dana White's mouth. We know it's going to come out of Dana White's mouth. She's the greatest female fighter ever.
Fighter of all time.
Yeah. I'm just telling you right now, it's going to come out of Dana White's mouth. She's the greatest female fighter of all time.
Yep.
All right, next.
All right, let's get this last story here. So there's this whole thing with Petr Yan in his corner. And so supposedly he was supposed to have Sean O'Malley and Cejudo in his corner. And there was a point at which that, was being favored by everybody. And then Cejudo comes out. He basically says, Petr Yan says, just bring me my water. And then Cejudo tweets out, I'm nobody's water boy. Not doing the corner. And then Sean O'Malley comes out and says, yeah, I'm not going to corner that fucking dude. I don't care if he wins. I do like Peter, though. He's a funny little dude in person. I just want to fucking square up with him, maybe. I don't know. But it's just interesting, the dynamic there, and then how that's going to affect Petr Yan with, the whole corner situation.
Yeah, John, is he really going to fight with no corners?
Well, he will have a corner.
Who?
It may not be his normal corner. You don't, Josh. Okay, I'm going to bring you back in time. No,
Bring me back.
Let's go back in time a little bit.
Talk to me, Goose.
Again, I just had you fighting Hoist Gracie. I can go back in time.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you always had Javier and Bob Cook in your corner, just about every fight, and you would at times have other guys too.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I'm going to take away Bob Cook, Javier Mendez, Ron Kessler, anybody, Arsenio Rosales. They're gone. Can you come up with people as a corner?
Yeah, but I also live. Does he live here?
No, he doesn't live here, but he knows people.
That's my.
I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying it's perfect. I think he was using the whole thing with the Sean O'Malley and the Henry Cejudo thing as it's a shtick. It's a marketing thing. He's putting it out there for the media. Yeah, but you could always find someone to be that person. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to be as good for you as your normal corner, but I am going to say that really, what do you need? Well, it's nice to get good information about what you need to do if you're making little mistakes, if there's something he's doing and how to stop what he's doing. All those things are really important. They're really good. He may not get those from the person, but even if it's as much as he's already got a cut man, that the UFC is supplying that. And so even if it's as much as someone to come in, put ice on his chest, cool him down, give him some water. Look, he's been there. He's done it many times in the past. Obviously, I do think that the corner thing it's a negative of him going into the fight that he doesn't have his normal corner, but he's going to be fine, and he's got somebody that he can pull in and put in that position.
Does he speak English?
Not much.
So you have to find somebody that can.
Yes.
I guess speak a little bit of Russian. I don't even know.
Maybe not.
John, I mean,
I'm not saying that it's. I think it puts him in a deficit in the fight to a point as far as it's a negative going into the fight, but for him, who cares?
Where's this fight at? Is it where's the event? Is it Jacksonville?
Yeah.
So who would he potentially know? And if you've got teams down there that he could potentially have someone come coach.
Yeah.
You've got Stanford MMA.
He's got American Top Team, and they got a lot of people speaking Russian there.
Yes, yeah. I mean that would be your best bet, having somebody like that, come. It would just be difficult. It's just difficult. John, I would have been lost in so many of my fights. I mean, this guy's fucking fighting for a world title.
Yeah,
he's fighting to get his
there's a
world title
comfort
back.
factor that is not there based upon it, and it is something that's significant. But he's talked about it, and he's put it like doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, because at the end of the day, right? It's you out there.
That's it.
But you still need an outside voice that knows what the hell they're talking about. Hey, you're hurting him to the body, keep going to the body, or hey, keep cutting the cage off, don't chase him. Like little things like that will make a big difference.
Sure.
Don't lunge in, big shots getting taken down. Like
even if it's just repeating what that game plan was.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Huh. Well, I mean, it kind of sucks because, everyone got all hyped up about Sean O'Malley and Henry Cejudo cornering him. So, but who knows? Maybe you're right. Maybe he wasn't never going to have them corner.
Yeah.
Maybe he was just, playing it as a social media thing. Who knows?
Yep.
Hey, go to weighinginpodcast.com.
And get one of these fantastic hoodies.
Yes. I like that. I like that logo a lot.
So do I. Old school, baby. OG.
We also have coffee mugs, long sleeve hoodies, sweatshirts.
Maybe we should get some
Long
Kleenex.
Yes, we should. I know. I'm just dying over here, man. I'm sorry, guys. If you guys had to listen to this show, I'm sure you're like, gosh, you're already bad enough with all my nose is so messed up normally because I got cauliflower in one side of my nose and I've got a deviated septum on the other. So my nose doesn't drain properly. It runs down my throat. And so that's why I'm always like, I hate it, John. I hate it. I just don't know. Like even when I talk to my nose doctor, because there's a hand, foot, and nose doctor.
How is that?
How is what?
How do they come up with, okay, you're going to lift 3 things, hands and feet. That makes, okay.
I think it's ear also.
Oh,
I think they do ear.
Isn't it ear, nose, and throat? Ear, nose, and throat. 'Cause they're all
Ear, nose, and throat. Something
Got
like that.
it.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go.
So you said hands and feet. I'm like, how was that?
Yeah, ear, nose, and throat. Yeah. And so I went to the specialist. He's like, look, even if I fix your deviated septum, he's like, it's still not going to do anything. He's like, you're still going to, so I don't know. I don't even know how to get it fixed. So I got cauliflower on the other side.
Just
He's
live
like,
with
look,
it.
with cauliflower. Yeah, he's like, with cauliflower, he's like, what happens is cauliflower pushes on the bone. The bone gets soft then. So if I scrape it out, he's like, the bone will be softer. So it's easier for your nasal cavity to collapse. So if you get bumped training, he's like, I'm like, fuck. It's just it's a shit situation to be in. So, anyways, hey, go
all
to
of a
Wayne.
sudden, your whole side of your face just did dead sit.
Yeah. You know, and then what makes it even worse is I have a chip right on the bone on the tip of my nose. I've got a V-line chip right on my bone, right where my nose. So my nose was broken, but not broken like to where I needed to have it reset or anything. But it was broken where there's a chip. I can feel the indentation right here on my nose. It's so crazy. So, John, when people ask me, do you want to fight again? I'm like, fuck
No.
you. No desire. None. I'm dealing with my hand injury. I tried to pull the helmet off the other day and I hurt myself. So, all right.
I'm not going to ask what kind of helmet you were trying to pull off.
Oh, man. I can't even laugh. It's so ridiculous. And my throat's not even sore. So, my throat's not sore. You guys just got to listen to me talk. That's the most painful thing, I bet. All right, guys. Well, hey, thank you so much for dealing with this. Hopefully, you guys listened to the whole show. If you guys didn't, I'm sorry. Hopefully, it'll be better by the weekend show. Also, John and I, we are hosting the Bellator presser on Monday, which will be featured on Showtime's YouTube as well as Bellator's YouTube. John and I will be hosting the podcast. Wayne and Podcast will be hosting the presser. We'll be opening the show and closing the show with post-fight interviews. So that's a big deal for us. We're pumped. We're excited. And wanted to let everyone you guys know. So make sure you guys tune in for that presser, man. I believe it starts at noon PST time. I think is when it starts. So let's have some fun, man. This is going to be great. Wayne and Podcast is hosting the Bellator press conference. I cannot wait. This is going to be a great time.
I just hope that Dave can put them in the right order.
Oh, God.
Right.
Oh, no.
For everyone out there, man, thank you for listening. We hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed the sultry tones of Josh the Punk Thompson because it was fantastic. And be good to someone out there. Be good to Dave. Be nice to Dave. John, be nice to Dave. John, be nice to Dave. Have fun out there, everyone, and we will see you.